here's a question I want you to sit with for just a moment before we get into anything else. When was the last time you pulled into a gas station, watched that number on the pump climb past $60, $70, $80, and thought to yourself, is there actually anything I can do about this, or is this just what it costs to drive a car in America now? If that feeling is familiar, you are not alone, not even close. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics 2026 consumer expenditure data, the average American household spent over $2,400 on gasoline last year. That is more than $200 every single month, quietly leaving your wallet before you even think about rent, groceries, or anything else. And with the national average price at the pump climbing, that number is not getting smaller on its own. But here's what almost nobody talks about, and what this video is entirely about. A massive portion of what you are spending at the pump right now has nothing to do with the price of crude oil. Nothing to do with whatever is happening overseas, and absolutely nothing to do with what car you drive. It has to do with a set of habits, maintenance gaps, and driving behaviors that are silently draining between 15 and 40% of your fuel economy every single day without you ever feeling it happen. The U.S. Department of Energy has said plainly that practicing fuel-efficient techniques can improve your gas mileage by more than 10%. Some of the individual factors we're going to cover today are worth far more than that on their own. And not one of them requires you to buy a new car, install anything expensive, or change your life in any dramatic way. So stay with me all the way through this, because there is a tip near the end of this video about something almost every American driver does every single day that could be costing them hundreds of dollars a year more than they realize. And it is probably the last thing you would ever suspect. Let's get into it. The first thing we need to talk about is the single most impactful, controllable variable in your fuel economy. And it is not what most people guess. It is not your engine size, it is not your car's age, and it is not even the gas you buy. It is how you use the gas pedal. Specifically, the combination of aggressive acceleration and hard braking is, according to research, reducing the fuel economy of aggressive drivers by anywhere from 15 to 40% compared to someone driving the exact same car on the exact same route more smoothly. Let that number sit for a second. 40%. If you are spending $200 a month on gas and aggressive driving is costing you even 25% of your fuel economy, that is $50 a month you are burning into nothing but heat in your brake pads. $600 a year, every year, just from the way you are pushing and releasing two pedals. Here is why the physics of this are so ruthless. When you accelerate hard from a stop, your engine works at maximum load, burning the highest possible fuel rate per second to generate kinetic energy, the energy of motion. When you then brake hard at the next light, every single joule of that kinetic energy converts to heat and disappears completely. You have paid for that energy twice, once to create it with fuel and once to destroy it with friction. And in city driving, where the average American stops and starts dozens of times per trip, this cycle repeats over and over, all day, every day. The fix is as unglamorous as it is effective. Accelerate gently. Anticipate stops far enough ahead that you can coast down to them rather than braking hard. Allow your speed to bleed off gradually when you see a red light 2 blocks ahead, rather than maintaining speed right up to the line. The DOE calls this technique anticipatory driving, and it works. Drivers who master it on the same daily commute routinely see 10 to 20% improvements in measured fuel economy, with zero mechanical changes to the car. Here is a curiosity question worth holding while we go through the rest of this video. If driving behavior alone can account for up to 40% of the gap between what you are getting in fuel economy and what your car is actually capable of, what does that suggest about every other efficiency improvement on top of that? Let's talk about tires, because this is where a lot of people lose money in a way they will never see coming. Every month that goes by without checking your tire pressure is costing you at the pump. The math on this is very straightforward. For every 1 psi your tires are running below the manufacturer's recommended pressure across all 4 tires, you lose approximately 0.2% in fuel economy. That sounds small in isolation, but consider that the average American's tires are running somewhere between 4 and 8 psi low by the time they think to check, and many drivers never check at all. And that gap compounds to between 1 and 3% in fuel economy loss, according to Olaus. And here's the part that makes this hit differently. Tire pressure drops roughly 1 psi for every 10-degree Fahrenheit drop in temperature, which means if you checked your tires last spring and never looked again, Your winter tires could easily be running 6, 7, or 8 psi low by January. That is like carrying an anchor on every single drive, every single day, all winter long. The fix takes about 4 minutes and a $3 gauge you can keep in your glove box permanently. Check the sticker on the driver's door jamb. Not the number on the sidewall of the tire. That is the maximum pressure rating, not the recommended inflation. The door jamb sticker has the correct target PSI for your specific vehicle. Check all 4 tires cold, which means before you have driven more than a mile that day, since driving heats air and inflates your reading artificially. This is one of those improvements that costs essentially nothing and delivers real, measurable, ongoing fuel savings every single month for the rest of the time you own that car. Now here is one where a lot of well-meaning advice has been genuinely wrong for decades, and it is worth clearing up because it matters. You have probably been told that replacing a dirty air filter will improve your gas mileage. And for cars made before roughly the mid-1980s, that was completely true. Older, carbureted engines drew air mechanically, and a clogged filter directly starved the combustion process of what it needed. Modern fuel-injected engines work differently. According to the U.S. Department of Energy's own fueleconomy.gov data, replacing a clogged air filter on a modern car with a fuel-injected engine does not significantly improve MPG, because the car's computer compensates for reduced airflow by adjusting the fuel mixture automatically. But here's the thing, and this is the part people skip over. Replacing a dirty air filter on a modern car does improve acceleration by 6 to 11%. And that matters for your fuel economy more than you might think, because a car that accelerates sluggishly tends to make drivers push the pedal harder and longer to reach their target speed. The indirect fuel economy benefit is real, and the engine health benefit of clean combustion air is unambiguous. The spark plug story is even more direct. Worn or fouled spark plugs misfire, meaning combustion does not complete properly on every cycle, and that unburned fuel exits the engine as waste rather than turning into forward motion. Research puts the fuel economy penalty from worn spark plugs at up to 30% in severe cases. Most manufacturers recommend replacement somewhere between 30,000 and 100,000 miles, depending on the plug type. Many drivers go well past that before thinking about them. If you have never replaced your spark plugs and your car has more than 60,000 miles on it, there is a reasonable chance you are driving around with a measurable ongoing fuel economy deficit from something that costs under $50 to fix. Let's talk about speed. And I want to do this with real numbers because the relationship between highway speed and fuel economy is one of the most dramatic in all of this, and most people fundamentally underestimate it. Mid-size conventional gasoline cars, according to modeling from Argonne National Laboratory using data from the Alternative Fuels Data Center, achieve their best fuel economy at 55 miles per hour. Not 70, not 65, 55. Above that speed, aerodynamic drag becomes the dominant force working against forward motion, and the power required to overcome that drag increases with the square of your speed. In practical terms, this means the jump from 55 to 65 costs you significantly more fuel than the jump from 45 to 55. And the jump from 65 to 75 is more expensive still. Consumer Reports tested this directly with a Nissan Altima and a Toyota RAV4, measuring actual fuel economy at a steady 55, 65, and 75 miles per hour. The results were consistent with the Department of Energy's estimate that each 5 miles per hour above 50 costs approximately 7 to 14% in fuel economy. Run that math at today's prices. If you drive 15,000 miles per year at an average of 75 miles per hour on the highway, and slowing to 65 would save you 10% in fuel economy on highway miles, you could be looking at a saving of over $200 per year from that single behavior change alone. Now, nobody is telling you to drive 55 on a 75 mph highway. That is a safety issue in its own right. But if you are sitting in the passing lane at 80 or 85 because you are in a hurry, understanding what that extra speed is genuinely costing you at every fill-up changes the math on whether it is actually worth it. Here is one that will genuinely surprise most drivers, because it involves something almost everyone does without thinking, and the annual cost of it is far higher than anyone calculates in the moment. Idling. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, idling a typical car engine burns between 0.14 and 0.5 gallons of fuel per hour, depending on engine size and accessories running. That sounds like almost nothing. But think about all the places the average American idles their engine in a normal week. warming the car up on cold mornings, sitting in a drive-thru, waiting to pick up kids from school, sitting in stop traffic, letting the engine run while you run a quick errand, keeping the AC going while you are parked. Add those up across a full week, and the average American driver may easily be idling 30 to 60 minutes per day without ever consciously registering it. At half a gallon per hour for a typical modern engine at idle, 30 minutes of daily idling consumes roughly 80 gallons of fuel per year burned entirely while the car moves nowhere at all. At $4 a gallon, that is $320 a year in fuel that produces 0 miles traveled. And this is not a fringe scenario. This is the average American's daily driving pattern. The habit change here is straightforward. Modern fuel-injected engines do not need the warming up time that older carbureted engines required. You do not need to idle for 3 minutes before driving in cold weather. The engine warms up faster under light load while moving than it does sitting still. Turn the engine off if you expect to be stationary for more than 60 seconds. Most modern engines can handle far more start cycles than people realize without mechanical consequence. Let's talk about weight, because this is one where almost every car in America is carrying a fuel economy penalty right now that nobody thinks about. The research here is consistent and comes from multiple sources, including the DOE and automotive engineering literature. Every 100 pounds of extra weight in or on your vehicle reduces fuel economy by approximately 1%. That again sounds trivial. But the average American's car carries more excess weight than most people ever stop to quantify. A full set of winter floor mats left in year-round. A roof rack that stays on because taking it off and putting it back on is inconvenient. Golf clubs, gym equipment, kids' sports gear, camping equipment, tools, emergency supplies stacked up in the trunk over months and years. A full-size spare plus a jack and kit in a space that could carry a lighter compact spare. A 2026 survey of American drivers found that many regularly haul between 150 and 300 pounds of cargo they do not actively need on any given trip. At 300 pounds, that is a steady 3% fuel economy penalty on every single drive. Not dramatic on any one trip, but compounded over 15,000 miles per year, it adds up to real money. The roof rack deserves its own sentence. Even empty, a roof rack adds aerodynamic drag. A study cited by fueleconomy.gov found that an empty raised roof rack reduces highway fuel economy by 2 to 8%, depending on speed and rack design. A loaded roof rack or cargo box at highway speeds can cost 10 to 25%. Storing it when you are not actively using it is a free fuel economy improvement that costs you nothing except the 20 minutes it takes to remove it. Here is one that operates at the intersection of driving behavior and physics. And it is something almost nobody thinks of as a fuel-saving technique, even though it can deliver consistent, measurable gains every single day with zero effort. Cruise control. A 2024 study found that modern adaptive cruise control systems can improve fuel savings by up to 22% in urban driving conditions compared to manual throttle control. Even standard cruise control on the highway, by eliminating the subtle and constant speed fluctuations that come from manually managing the pedal, keeps the engine operating at a consistent, efficient load point rather than constantly hunting between slightly too fast and slightly too slow. Most American drivers use cruise control occasionally on long highway trips and then forget about it. But the fuel economy case for using it whenever highway conditions safely allow, even on shorter highway segments, is genuinely compelling. This is one of those situations where the feature your car already has is delivering less benefit than it could simply because it is not being used consistently. Now, for the one near the end I mentioned at the very start, the one that is probably costing you hundreds of dollars a year from something you are doing every single time you fill up. Premium fuel. Roughly 1 in 5 Americans with a car that specifies regular fuel either buys premium occasionally, believing it will clean the engine or improve performance, or has been told by a dealer or family member that premium is simply better for any car. None of that is true. Premium fuel, which now costs nearly $5 a gallon nationally according to Consumer Reports' June 2026 data, contains higher octane than regular. Octane rating is a measure of a fuel's resistance to premature detonation, called knock, under high compression. High-performance and turbocharged engines that run higher compression ratios genuinely need that knock resistance to function properly and produce their rated power. If your car requires premium, you should absolutely use it. But if your owner's manual says the car recommends or requires regular fuel, and you are buying premium anyway, you are paying roughly 90 cents more per gallon for a property your engine has no mechanical ability to use. According to American Automotive Association, Americans waste more than $2 billion per year buying premium fuel for cars that have no use for it. Check your owner's manual, not the internet, not the dealership service desk. The actual owner's manual for your specific vehicle. If it says regular, buy regular every single time. That simple habit change for a driver who currently buys premium for a regular fuel car and fills up once per week is worth over $300 per year at current prices. Let's bring everything together because by now you should have a genuinely complete picture of where your money is going and exactly what to do about it. Aggressive acceleration and hard braking. Up to 40% of your fuel economy gone. Tires running even 6 psi low. Up to 3% fuel economy loss every single day. Worn spark plugs past their service interval. Potentially 30% combustion efficiency loss. Highway speed above 65, 7 to 14% fuel economy cost per over the target. Daily idling. Potentially 80 gallons per year burned while going nowhere. Excess cargo and a roof rack left on. 2 to 5% fuel economy penalty you are carrying around for no reason. Buying premium fuel for a regular fuel car, 90 cents per gallon, wasted $2+ billion per year across America. These are not marginal improvements. The combination of addressing your driving behavior, keeping your tires properly inflated, staying on top of spark plug replacement, using cruise control on the highway, cleaning out unnecessary weight, and buying only the octane grade your car actually needs can realistically add up to a 15 to 30% improvement in your real-world fuel economy over what you are likely getting right now. At $200 a month in current fuel spending, 30% is $60 a month back in your pocket. $720 a year, every year. Not from buying a new car, not from installing anything expensive, from understanding how the car you already have actually works. If this video changed how you think about your gas bill, do me a favor and subscribe. Because this channel is dedicated to exactly this kind of practical money-saving car knowledge that most people never get access to. Every week we are digging into the things dealers, manufacturers, and service shops would rather you paid for than figured out yourself. Drop a comment below and tell me which one of these surprised you the most. I read every single one. And if you have got a fuel-saving habit of your own that we did not cover, share it down there. Some of the best content on this channel has started from exactly that. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.